Hey guys, with this Sunday being Mother's Day here in the UK, I wanted to do a video this week that is designed especially for pregnancy. Of course, it doesn't matter if you're not pregnant, you can still do this video, but if you are pregnant, this is especially for you. Please make sure that you have read all of the notes in the box below just to make sure that this is a video that's right for you, but it's designed to be safe for kind of all parts of pregnancy. So you're going to come to a comfortable seat, and I'm sitting on a bolster. You could use a pregnancy pillow or a regular pillow or blocks or something just to lift yourself up a little bit. And then rather than sitting right on the middle of whatever it is that's underneath you, just push it back so that your sitting bones are on there. So you've got that lift and support, but that your undercarriage is free so that you're not kind of pressing down on everything. And then just take a couple of moments to settle into that seat to make yourself comfortable. And throughout the practice, just comfort is really, really important. So just make sure that you're not doing anything that doesn't feel good. And you can keep yourself moving. So when we're sitting still, you don't have to be completely still. You can be kind of moving through the hips a bit. You can be doing whatever it is that you're that makes you feel good. And then when you're ready, just close your eyes. And closing the eyes, just letting yourself settle into your breath. So the breath is a really powerful tool, one that we work with throughout our life. It's always there, but one that we can really harness, particularly during pregnancy and during labor. It's a really powerful thing to have a good connection to your breath. And we're going to begin our practice with a pranayama, a breath exercise called golden thread breath. So just take a couple of gentle breaths in and out. And then with your next breath, you're going to breathe in through the nose and breathe out through gently parted lips. And breathing in through the nose. And as your breath draws out through the lips, you can imagine a golden thread spinning out from between the lips. So breathing in, breathing out through the mouth, this golden thread extending out from the lips. Just visualizing the thread unwinding, extending out on every exhale. And perhaps as you settle into the breath, that thread of breath gets a little longer, expands a little further. Really calming breath for the body and for the mind. And then gently blinking the eyes open. And so just taking a couple of breaths here, maybe let's roll through the shoulders. And then roll back the other way. Let's take the arms over the head. Big reach up. And then bring the hands back down through the center of the chest. Inhale the arms over the head. And exhale, bring the hands through the center of the chest. One more time, inhale. And let the left hand release down to the left side. To reach the right arm up and over, getting a nice stretch through the side of the body. And then inhale back to center. Place the right hand to the floor. Lift the left arm up and over. And you can flow between the two, inhaling And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. And then come back to the center. Start to walk your hands forward. Lift your seat. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So move the bolster, the blocks, whatever's underneath you to one side. You won't need them for now. And then take your feet nice and wide, your knees nice and wide, feet can be closer together, and then push through the hands and find a child's pose. So you're making space for the bump, taking the knees as wide as you need to. Maybe letting the forehead settle down to the earth. Just feeling that sense of connection, that rooting down, and if the head doesn't come all the way down to the earth, you can place something underneath the head so you still get that relaxation of the forehead pressing down. And then begin to walk your hands up towards your knees. As the hands come to the knees, you're going to tuck your toes underneath you. Push into the hands to lift the knees, walking the hands to the toes, walking the hands up the legs until you come all the way up to standing. So the feet can be hip width apart, knees are nice and soft, and you can take your hands either onto the bump or onto the hips or the sacrum. We're just going to start by circling the hips. So there's a nice mudra that we can do called Yoni Mudra, which is where the hands are in a triangle, so the thumbs and the first fingers touch. And you can kind of place that underneath the belly button. And you can use that mudra as you take circles with the hips. And then back the other way. Nice. And the next time you come back to the center, root down through the feet. We're going to take our sun salutations. So release the hands. Gently draw them over the head. And as you exhale, begin to fold down. We're walking the hands back down the legs, the reverse of what we just did. And then the hands come onto the floor. You move the hands forward. Bring the shoulders over the wrist. Let your knees come down to the mat at the same time. Look up with the chest, but rather than kind of taking a full tuck of or lift of the sit bones, you want to just keep that a little bit controlled so that you're not hyperextending into your lower back. As you exhale, think about hugging the baby in as you draw your gaze to your belly button and push your ground away. And coming back to a neutral spine. Start to walk the hands back towards the knees, pushing into the hands, rocking the way into the feet, and coming all the way back up. Rolling slowly to stand, take the arms over your head, and bring them back through the center of the chest, releasing them down to Yoni Mudra on the belly. Let's take another one just the same. So inhale the arms over your head, root down through the feet. Folding forwards, start to walk the hands onto the mat in front of you. When your hands come to the top of the mat, shoulders over the wrist, knees come down at the same time. Then look forwards, lengthen out of the waist. And as you exhale, hug the baby in as you look to your navel. Coming back to a neutral spine. Slowly patting the hands up to the knees. Pushing into the hands, rock the way into the feet. Coming all the way up to standing. Bone by bone. Arms reach over the head. And bring them through the heart center. Coming back to Yoni Mudra. So this time we're going to take a Surya B, a modified sun salutation B. So take the arms over the head. We begin in the same way. Exhale to fold all the way down. We're coming into all fours nice and slowly. So just making your way onto the floor. This is quite a good way to get up and down from the floor as well. So from here, let's lift the chest, just like before. And then come to hug the baby in as you push the ground away. Now this time as you come to a neutral spine, you're going to take your right foot to the outside of the right hand. If you have any pelvic girdle pain, then you can keep the foot back where it was and just take the hip circles there instead. So then from here, we're going to take nice big circles outwards, getting into that right hip. And it's really important, you're not trying to go into your maximum flexibility. We want to kind of create that balance of strength in the body rather than just working into our maximum flexibility, so that we're not overstretching on those extra stretchy parts of the body that you might find you develop during your pregnancy. Nice. And then let's take one more circle. And let's step that right foot back. Let's take another cat-cow, lifting the chest, hugging the baby in as you push the ground away. Finding a neutral spine as you walk the hands back up towards the knees. Push into the hands, weight into the feet as you come all the way up to standing. Arms reach over the head. And this time we're going to fold all the way back down, walking the hands forward. Knees come down to the earth. Looking up, lifting the chest, slide the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Exhale to round the spine, hug the baby in. Come back to a neutral spine. Left foot comes to the outside of the left hand. And again, we're taking outward circles with the hip. So just making a little bit of space. We're not lunging really deeply. It's a kind of controlled step with the left foot. Let's take one more. And then pushing through the hands, come back to all fours. Let's take another cat-cow, lifting the chest, lengthen the spine. Push the ground away, hug the belly in. Come back to neutral. Tucking the toes. Keep the feet nice and wide as you walk the hands back. Push the weight into the feet. Coming all the way up. Stacking bone by bone, reaching the arms over the head. And settling the hands through the chest, through the midline of the body, and down to Yoni Mudra. And just ground down through the network of the feet. So as the knees are a little bit soft, you can really feel that sense of rooting down. And you can be kind of fluid. You can be making little circles, little movements. It doesn't have to be static. And then release the hands. Step the feet to the top of the mat. Feet are hip width apart. And you're going to step back with the left foot to come to a warrior one. So the feet are at least hip width apart. And this step might be a little bit shorter than it might have been pre-pregnancy. But just find a really strong connection through the soles of the feet. And then the hands can stay on the hips. If you want to take the arms over their head, you can for a couple of breaths. But otherwise, staying here with hands on the hips is great. Take a couple of breaths. And then push into your right foot. Step the left foot to the top of the mat. Now bend your knees for chair pose. Keep the knees wide. The arms can come out in front or they can rest on the thighs. Keep your chest lifted. Squeezing the glutes. Push through the feet. Come all the way up to standing. Hands onto the hips. Let's step back with the right foot for warrior one. So the hips are square. And just feel the support through the soles of the feet. Again, option to raise the arms over the head. If it's comfortable, you can stay here for a couple of breaths. Or let the hands rest back onto the hips. And then shifting the weight to the left foot. Coming all the way to the top of the mat. Bend both knees for chair pose. Drawing the hips down just to the point that feels comfortable. Don't push it too far, but just allow the soles of the feet to connect to the ground. And from there, you're energizing up the whole body. Take a breath in. Push through the feet. Come back to Tadasana, standing at the top of the mat. Nice. And then we'll take a little bit of a balance. So you can stay where you are. But just shift the weight into the left foot and point the right foot forward. And then you're going to lift the right foot away, but bend the knee slightly and raise the arms. So you're going to circle the hands, circle the ankle. This is a dancing Shiva goddess pose. You can shift the hands around, moving them slightly, changing the directions of the hand, of the feet. And then place the foot down to the ground. Take a moment. And then find the other side. So shifting the weight into the right foot, a little bend in that right knee. You're going to pick up the left foot. Doesn't have to be super high, just bringing it a couple of centimeters, an inch off the floor. And then maybe exploring the space around you with the hands. And then coming back to Tadasana. And then stepping to the back of the mat. We're going to make our way down onto the floor. So take the arms over your head. Nice big stretch, and then folding all the way down. Bend the knees. Walk the hands forward. Placing the knees onto the floor. And then take the feet from underneath you. Walk your hands all the way around to lower your seat to the earth. And bring the soles of the feet to touch. Just a really gentle moment in your Baddha Konasana, your butterfly pose. So tall through the sit bones, and you're not forcing yourself down. Maybe you take the hands behind your back onto teepees with the fingertips. Lift the chest and just feel that opening through the front of the body. And then walking the hands forward. We're going to come down onto the back of the body. So if it's comfortable to lie on your back, you can do so. Otherwise, you can always take your relaxation on the side of the body with the bolster between the legs. I'm going to show you that one. Otherwise, if it's still comfortable for you to be on your back, you can. Maybe take a block or a blanket underneath the head. And you're just going to come down to the ground. Make yourself nice and comfortable. Just starting to slow the breath. And it's okay to take a little while to get yourself comfortable, and if it doesn't feel good to stay still for too long, then you could come back up to seated and make it a little bit more of a dynamic relaxation, perhaps circling the pelvis in your seat. But otherwise, just allowing the body to be supported by the earth beneath you. And it's so important to make time for relaxation at the end of your practice. or at any time during the day that you can steal a few moments. When you're ready, use the support of your hands to bring yourself up gently to a comfortable seat. Also maybe coming through all fours, taking a bolster, a block, a cushion underneath you. And then eventually sitting up, maybe resting hands in Yoni Mudra or anywhere that's comfortable on the bump or on your thighs. And just come back to the breath. Just allowing it to center your mind, your awareness on this moment now. And just acknowledging this time and space that you've given to nurture yourself today. To give yourself the support and the space and the nurturing that you so willingly give away to your child. And just allow yourself to be held by that energy of your own nurturing. Taking a breath in through the nose and a big sigh to let it go. Namaste.